Most observability teams have seen this. You have a dashboard full of activity, and when an incident starts, the first question is still, what does this error code mean? Or, I wish this was more human readable. And if the answer to that is, give me a minute, let me go check another system, you probably have a context gap. In this video, I'll show you how lookup tables in Dynatrace can help close that gap by translating raw statuses and error codes into business-readable context right inside your Dynatrace environment. A lookup table is reference data stored in Grail that you can join to your existing telemetry at query time. You can upload CSV, JSON, or XML files, then use DQL commands like load and lookup to enrich data without changing your raw events or application code. That's the key value. Raw telemetry stays clean, while the ability to enrich your data remains flexible. Instead of seeing something like status equals card error or error code equals 22, you get more context-rich information like a better description, contact email for errors, or even a recommended action. This is why teams describe lookup tables as simple but extremely valuable for giving the right context at the right time. So why does this matter in practice? It reduces cognitive load during incident response. It eliminates manual lookups to other systems like spreadsheets, wikis, or databases. It makes dashboards immediately actionable without requiring specific domain expertise. And of course, it supports repeatable issue remediation use cases. Teams move from, let me check the error code guide to, I see exactly what to do right here in Dynatrace. Here we're looking at some biz event data from our EasyTrade application, which focuses on checking the status of pending credit card orders. The data is technically correct telemetry, but the business meaning is buried. A dashboard with 100 rows of card error statuses tells you there's a problem, but not what to do about it. Let's look at how we can create a lookup table to augment the data that we see here. Looking at our CSV file, we have a lookup field called status, which we're going to use to look up the correct data to join with our existing EasyTrade data. This will give us much more additional context, such as the recommended action, who to contact, and a better description of the issue. There are a few ways to get your lookup table data into Dynatrace. First, the Investigations app gives you a direct UI to upload, parse, and manage them. For more automated workflows, you can upload them directly through the Dynatrace API. For this example, we'll look at using the Investigations app. First, open up the Investigations app. Make sure you have a new investigation created and the left-hand panel open, and then click on the Grail Storage tab. Select New Lookup Table File. This brings up a 3-step process to create your lookup table. Then, upload your lookup table file. In my case, I'm using a CSV file. Note that there's a max size of 100 megabytes with a max of 100,000 records. Next, we define our parse pattern and lookup data using the Dynatrace pattern language, or DPL. If you're not familiar with DPL, it's essentially a pattern language that allows you to describe patterns in data using matchers. We're going to use it to help Dynatrace identify and extract the correct fields from our CSV. Then we make sure to set the lookup field, which acts as the field which joins your existing data with your new lookup data. In this case, we'll use the status field. Lastly, we need to give our lookup table a path name, which is a unique name we'll use later to refer to the lookup table, as well as an optional display name and description. Then we'll click Create to create the lookup table. If your lookup data changes often, it may be more appropriate to use the Dynatrace API with a workflow to refresh the lookup table automatically on a schedule. Now let's navigate back to the dashboard and update our DQL queries to use our lookup table data. We'll take the query from the second table and create a third table that takes the same raw error events and enriches them with the additional business context from our CSV file. We use the lookup command to join each row on the status field against our lookup table at lookups/EasyTrade credit card status. This gives us the enriched columns like status description, recommended action, contact department, and contact email right next to the original event data. So instead of only seeing card error, we'll now see what it means, who owns it, and exactly who to contact. As mentioned earlier, as a best practice, keep your lookup data fresh. For static mappings, manual upload in the Investigations app, like we did here, often works fine. For dynamic mappings that change often, use the API to refresh the same lookup path on a schedule. To find more details on the API-driven approach, from your Dynatrace environment, search for Dynatrace API, which will open up the Swagger API documentation. In the Selected Definition field, select Grail Resource Store. From there, you can find details on uploading or deleting your lookup table. Note that if the file path of your lookup table already exists, you'll need to add the overwrite parameter to your API call and set it to true. And that's the value of Dynatrace lookup tables. They transform raw technical telemetry into business-readable insights with a simple enrichment step. If your dashboards are full of status codes or cryptic IDs, this is one of the fastest improvements you can make to improve the data readability and actionability, making context immediately clear to your observability teams. Thanks for watching.